I'm Mojo GT, and I really messed up. I had the arrow facing up. Simple as that. Oh yeah! What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo GT, and I really messed up. As you can see, this is a transmission for my Charger. Charger's been able to run for, probably almost 6 months at this point. Anyway, we diagnosed and actually found the issue of why the car would not drive. So if you did not know, you can watch in the previous videos. But just in short, what the car would do is it only had reverse and drive. Or reverse and first gear, that is. Whenever you'd shift into second gear, you would, the car would come to a screeching halt. Or if you're from a stop and you go from second gear, the car will just be stationary and won't drive forward. Troubleshot this back to the K1 Sprag being backwards. So the K1 Sprag rotates the same direction as the engine when installed properly. When installed improperly, rotates the opposite way. And it only spins one way. So obviously, it doesn't take somebody that has to think too hard to understand that that's not right. So here we are. It's on the bench. This is kind of what I have to work with. As you can see, this isn't the greatest shot, but it's what I have. And we're going to make it do. Kind of clean it up a little bit. And I'm going to pull the bell housing off. We'll start by disassembling this. I made 3 videos on how to rebuild a transmission. Went through with the manual. Skip the part where I do the sprag, and then everything else is going to be great. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I'm just going to time-lapse this stuff, stop when I have to tell you guys something, but this is not a video to teach you how to tear this apart. Simply going to find the K1 sprag. I have the manual in front of me, and we're going to find it. Let's get it. Alright, YouTube, check this out. We have transmission torn apart here. There's bell housing. We have K2, K1 input shaft here. Here is the manual. It tells you what orientation the K1 clutch sprag goes. So there is an arrow and it faces down. I had this installed with the arrow facing up. I don't know if you can see that, but I had the arrow facing up. Simple as that. So I'm going to throw this back in, obviously in the correct way, arrow facing down. Order the correct part, throw it in once I get it, and then we'll be able to finally drive the car. Alright guys, so we have this here. Clockwise would be spinning it that way, okay? Here's the reluctor wheel. As you can see, it spins. I don't want to spin it too much. I don't want to burr anything, but it spins. Put this other one this way, and it doesn't spin counterclockwise. So, all we did was flip that sprag, and it works. So, pretty confident with it. I'm going to button this up, seal it up, and wait for the new part to come in. I was looking up in my manual, and it actually said there's 2 different part numbers, and one is thicker than the other as far as overall width. So I actually have to take it back apart by myself and measure my sprag. So the F1 sprag, if you didn't know, if you didn't watch the last video, my F1 sprag was actually backwards. That's something with my first transmission. I guess, you know what, I can't really be too mad. It could have been a whole lot worse as far as catastrophic failure goes. But anyway, I'm going to take that apart, take it out, and measure it, order the right part, and then as soon as that comes in, we're going to throw it back in. It should be good to go. Throw it in, and we should be able to drive the thing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to throw you guys on a time lapse and see where it gets us. We've got F1 sprag identification. We have an 11 element, which is not recommended, a 20 and a 20 element. These are both okay to use. So the difference between this one and this one is the left one is assembled height of 0.845 and the right one is assembled height of 0.920. So obviously that's a huge difference as far as tolerances go. So I'm going to go ahead and take it apart, measure it, and I should get either 0.845 or 0.920. So we got the K1 right here. Flip it over, and we got to remove the snap ring using my one-of-a-kind snap ring removal tool. I'm going to measure this, see what I get. 0.920. I'm going to order 772-270-0291. So if you haven't watched the previous videos, I did the transmission rebuild on this Nag 1. Started up, go into first gear, reverse, everything was fine. Go into second gear, abrupt halt. Would not go farther at all. Would actually kind of roll a little bit and then stop. No matter what RPMs I would put it at, would move. So that being said, I tore it apart, talked to a lot of educated people. They told me I most likely have this F1 sprag upside down, or it failed. Most likely just flipped upside down since I just rebuilt the transmission with literally 0 miles on it. So that being said, I tore the transmission apart, found that my F1 sprag was literally turned upside down. So shout out to Southern Hot Rod, shout out to Byron Walker, shout out to Ding's Car Care, Troy Ding, and a million other people that seemed to help along the way. And shout out to Brandon for helping pull this transmission out. I didn't know if I compromised the integrity of said part. I actually tried driving the car for the first time, not knowing that this was an issue, going to shift to second gear about 7 miles an hour, and it came to an abrupt halt. Thought I broke something. So I don't know if I compromised the integrity of this F1 sprag that is in the transmission now. I took it apart. It actually seemed to be in good order, seemed perfect like I just put it in yesterday. But for peace of mind and just simply the fact of me having it out and it only costs $80 to replace it with an OEM part, it really wouldn't make much sense to throw it in and just guess. So here we are. Shout out to Southern Hot Rod to have this in stock and get it to me within 3 days. I'm working 6/12s right now. Only have 1 day off a week, so for them to get it to me on my day off was awesome. Thank you so much. So what we're gonna do, flip this transmission on its ass, have the bell housing faced up, remove all the bolts for the bell housing, pull it up with the B1 clutch assembly still bolted to the pump, flip that over on the bench, and then that'll leave me with the input shaft, K1 and K2, be able to pull that straight out, set it on the bench that you're sitting on, pull that K1 off, and then I'll actually have access to that F1 sprag right in the center. You'll see everything. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. Not really a step-by-step, but you'll see what I'm doing and how it kind of comes apart pretty easily. Mercedes did a very, very good job of making this transmission really good and really easy to work on. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm ready to get this damn thing on the road. All right, so I have this out. I flipped everything 180. Now I'm gonna do, pull out the new part, compare the overall depth, thickness, whatever you want to call it. So this is gonna be 920 thousandths. Okay, anyway, you can't see it. I hate the zoom on these things. Anyway, that's 920 thousandths. I'll take the new part within 1,000th. We are good to go. Now I just need to make sure that I install this correct way. All right, so there's an arrow. You're not gonna be able to see it. It's right here. It blends in very well. That, when you're in this orientation, points down. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it in. I did throw some transmission fluid on it, so. There we go. It's a tight fit, but it fits phenomenally. So now I'm gonna take my snap ring and install that. There we go, she's in. Now I'm gonna throw this on and simply put it all back together, and then we'll test it while it's on the toolbox. Alright, so now that I have everything installed, I just ran these in with my cordless ratchet. I'll torque them down as soon as I can. I don't think I have my torque wrench here, no big deal. I'm going to remove the pan with my T30, And from there, I will actually test the operation, make sure that everything is correct before I throw the transmission back in. This F1 Sprag sits in this clutch assembly and only spins one way, but it only works in the second gear. So that's why I had first and reverse, no problem. This is supposed to spin with the rotation of the engine, which is clockwise when you're looking at the bell housing, right? So it should spin this way. So as you can see, or hopefully you can see that, I'll try to get a little bit better for you. Going clockwise, it is spinning. And if I go the opposite direction, it doesn't move. So that is installed correctly. We are going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, and then I'm going to throw this pan back on, take it over to the car, throw it in, throw the valve body in. And actually, I might throw the valve body in while it's on the bench. That'd actually be a lot easier. So that being said, I have to go get said valve body, and I actually have to swap back to my brown solenoids. So I actually installed the blue top solenoids, and after talking to Troy Ding, he said that the blue top solenoids, why they shift so much harder, they seem to, is the orifice in the solenoid is actually smaller. So the pressure is just increased, right? So he actually has a lot more issues tuning, and the brown top solenoids actually work just as good, if not better, than the blue top solenoids, and the orifice is just larger. So more flow, and it actually can promote a healthier transmission. So I'm obviously going to listen to him. He knows a lot more about this shit than I do. So I've got this on a bench up in the air while he's probably got an operator station where he can do all his work. So I'm willing to bet that his word's a little bit better than mine. But anyway, not saying one man's better than another. I'm going to go ahead and throw this back together, take this to the car, and let's throw it in. All right, boys, we got the Dodge Dart out here. Got the trunk all ready for. I'm going to have to carry this transmission myself, put it in the back of my Dart. So I'm not looking forward to this. Maybe I'll get some time off of work. I'm joking. I really don't want that. Let's try it. If I break my back, this is Brandon's fault. Here we go. Shit out of you if you let it. Oh yeah! Ah! Ah! Ugh! Too easy. Too easy. Yay! Oh my gosh, dude. I just realized I forgot to torque the damn bell housing to the damn transmission case. 14 foot-pounds. I'm gonna have to take it there, pull the torque converter off, and then do it there. I'm not pulling it out twice. Son of a gun. All right. That's just me getting ahead of myself, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna go take this there, do that, and then pick you guys up right where I left off. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it all the way to this point, I know it's kind of redundant at some points, but I figured I'd just talk about everything all at once, right? So in the next video, we're gonna go ahead and throw the transmission in and test it. And then before you know it, guys, we're gonna be doing polls on this bad boy. Let's get it. See you guys next time. Don't forget, 90,000 followers on TikTok or 5,000 subscribers on YouTube is the giveaway for the $500 Jags gift card. Go ahead and go to shopmojogt.com, and every $20 you spend gets you an entry to win said gift card. So, see you guys there. See you in the next video. Peace.